had a lot of power, as well as artisans and merchants forming the middle class, and then you had peasants. And then a big thing, again, as I mentioned before, with China was the dynastic circle and the mandate of heaven. If you have the mandate of heaven, you had the God-given right to rule. You're okay. You were good, and you were here to stay. But if you didn't, you were kaput. They had roads and city planning, as well as some of the first early graveyards and very ornate palaces, which is pretty cool stuff, if you ask me. All right, now we move on to unit number 2, belief systems. Belief systems, very important. They govern a lot of us, whether it be religions, ideology sets, whichever. We're going to talk about a lot of these things right here. All right, so now we turn to Hinduism. The Aryans were the nomads who conquered the Indus civilization, and all their good toilets were out the window there, and that led to some acculturation with the blending of the two civilizations and the formation of Hinduism, with the Vedas, a collection of hymns, chants, and ritual instructions, as well as other religious teachings, some of the key foundations and accessories to the Hindu belief system. An Atman was a person's kind of soul or essential self. A Brahman was an all-powerful spiritual force that resides in all things. The caste system was social groups in which people are born and can't be changed, starting with the untouchables obviously being one of the lowest. A Dharma was the religious and moral duties of an individual, some of the things that they have to follow to achieve karma. Then actions that determine a person's fate and faith in the next life. Whether they're going to be an untouchable, whether they're going to be a prince, or they're going to be having a lot of power or having no power at all. People can't even look at them. Moksha was the ultimate goal of achieving one union with the Brahma. It was kind of like enlightenment. It was kind of like that kind of situation. Reincarnation or samsara is the rebirth of another soul into a bodily form. In the Bhagavad Gita is the best known Hindu religious literature ever created. So now we turn to Buddhism. And we have the main teacher, the Buddhist himself. Yeah, so Siddhartha Gautama he's the Buddha. He was a real guy, actually existed. He was a prince born in India. He was a former prince. He was very well protected. He had a good papa, the king. He was of the Hindu religion, and he witnessed poor people, sick people for the first time. He left the royal life to find the cause of human suffering and sorrow. From there, he taught the Four Noble Truths to his followers and told his followers to follow the Eightfold Path. He inspired his teachings inspired Buddhism. So the middle way, which was to find enlightenment by finding a happy medium between poverty and extreme wealth, and the Four Noble Truths are the core beliefs to Buddhism, which are: all life is caused by pain and suffering. The cause of suffering is rooted in evil, such as greed, desire, and hatred. The only cure for suffering is to overcome desire and other evils, and the only way to overcome desire and other evils is to follow the Eightfold Path, which is the path one must follow to reach nirvana, which is not a Hindu thing, so don't get it confused. The right understanding, which is to know the truths of the Four Noble Truths and really follow them out every day. The right purpose, which is to reach nirvana. The right speech, which is to do not lie or say rude things about anyone. Just be nice. Do not kill, steal, or lie was the right conduct. The right livelihood was to choose an occupation that does good and does not harm life and serves humanity, gives back. The right effort is to have self-control, especially over your thoughts, and try to be good. The right awareness is to think about why you're making certain choices. Do not be moved either by joy or sorrow. And the right
comfortable in that top three positioning
until you experience.
So I'm not sure exactly why they have to push so hard coming towards the line. It could be for lane placement, could be for pride and time. But right now, doing a really great job as they come towards their final strokes. The Long Beach Juniors just kind of walking.
Speaking of peacefulness, Taoism. Lao Tzu is the old master in this religion. He was a mystical philosopher who founded Taoism. The Tao is the key force of life in the universe, and the yin is associated with dark, cool, dark, passive water, and the yang is associated with the light, hot, assertive fire. Cool, yin, and the black and white symbol that is, when you think of the yin yang, it's kind of symbol that represents eternity, balance, and the situation going on that is so prevalent. So yeah, yin is chill. What's up, bro? How's it doing? And yang is like, how you doing? Are you doing good? It's like light, hot, assertive fire, that kind of thing. Very upfront and passionate. So Wu Wei, I mean, you may think, oh, I can just use Wu Wei on my global homework, but no, you got to do it. It's the principle of doing nothing and let problems solving themselves, which to me, from my perspective, sounds a little bit crazy. So Judaism and ethical monotheism. This was the foundation of Judaism and the Jewish religion. Abraham, he was the founder of this entire religion. He made covenant with God, and he was promised protection and land, which was Canaan or Israel, for his descendants if he believed in only one God, which he has, and that principle of believing in only one God is called monotheism. The covenant was the promise between Abraham and God of Israel. Torah is the holy book for the Jews that they tried and fought so hard to protect. Moses led Israelites out of Egypt and received the 10 Commandments. The 10 Commandments were a set of laws given to Moses by God for Israelites to follow. Amos was the prophet who believed praying and rituals were not enough. Were not enough for the Jews, and they had to help the poor to keep the covenant with God. You can't just pray and do rituals. You had to help the poor. You had to give back, and that was ethical monotheism, which is the belief in God who is the source of morality. And believing God is the source of morality and really giving back, helping the poor, helping the sick, and just generally being a good person, doing the right thing. Social justice is doing good works, giving to charity, helping out other people. And a lot of the Jewish religion had prophets, which were major religious leaders, and righteous action is what they encouraged. It was doing the right thing. Amos was one of the prophets, major religious leader. Amos believed all people should do righteous action, or pretty much doing the right thing. One of the main things that you'll hear about a little bit later on during the Renaissance was humanism, and it's that man is the measure of all things, mind, body, and action, and man is a great force for good in this world. Direct democracy is that all citizens have a say in government, where we don't have a direct democracy right now. We have a representative democracy, because if we did, every single thing that the Congress would have to vote on, every single American would have to vote on. So that'd be pretty hard. We have like 300 plus million of us in this country. It'd be pretty hard to count all those votes for everyone. And that's what they did in Greece, though. They had a big meeting. Everyone voted. All citizens had a say in the government, which led to some pretty big-time philosophers. For example, Socrates with the Socratic method, which was questioning to reach deep and have a deep understanding and truth in the world and have a big truth in life, understanding what you're doing and why you're doing it and being attentive and present at all times. Plato was the student of Socrates who believed democracy had failed his mentor, who wrote The Republic about the perfect government and believed the perfect government was a society run by philosopher kings. The smartest people, they had all the power. And he taught Aristotle this because he was the student of Plato. The golden mean is what they believed as the right course of action in between two middle extremes. That was the Greek philosophy of humanism. Socrates, pretty much, the thing with him was he was pretty annoying to people. He would just be like walking up to people and be like, hey, why are you doing that? What's wrong with you? Like, what are you thinking here? And pretty much they would be annoyed and they'd be like, what are you talking about? And then he questioned the wrong person and he got put to death. Very sad situation. Plato, his student, decided to take revenge and push for a society run by philosopher kings. Now we turn our attention to Confucianism. Confucianism is one of the big and by the way, just for example, I just want to clarify here with this Greece thing. It's not going to be one of the more important things. You should know what happened with Socrates and Plato and Aristotle and that whole principle, but you should very much know humanism, which means the celebration of mankind and the fact that humans are great and they can do great things, and also direct democracy. Confucius is the most famous teacher in the axial age of China. He lived about the same time as the Buddha in India, and here's what he said. He came up with the guidelines for behavior between key people in society known as the 5 relationships. Filial piety, which is respect for parents above all other duties, attempted to bring order to chaos in China. That was like respecting your elders, that kind of situation. And so the 5 relationships were the superior ruler over the subject, the father superior over the son, the older brother superior over the younger brother, the husband superior over the wife, and the senior friend over the junior friend. And that relationship was relatively equal. So he believed in the seniority and the 5 relationships that would help restore order in society, pretty much. Filial piety, respect for parents above all other duties, attempted to bring order to the chaos of China, just straighten things out here. And it did help for a long time, straightening some of the chaos taking place in China. Confucius also stressed the importance of proper etiquette or manners through one's thoughts, or ren, and actions, which were called li. So ren and li, the thoughts, the actions, proper etiquette, manners, very, very important. A person was supposed to be sincere, which is ren. You have the thought of being sincere for someone when one took actions to care for another, which was li. So like you kind of see how they fit together. A superior person in one of the 5 relationships is called a chunzi. He studied hard and was honest and just. He said education was one of the most important values in Confucianism, and all men had the potential to be superior men through education. He believed education was very important for society. Pretty smart guy. Anyway, that will conclude it. This episode, we reached our time limit here, and we're going to have more episodes on some of the major topics of this year coming up. So stay tuned for more announcements. SWRN Studios present Welcome everyone into an all-new episode of Global, where we explore the biggest moments that made our history what it is today. How we got here in a few minutes. Today it's all about empires, the rise of empires, and how they became what they are today. Thank you so much for joining us here today. We are ready to get started. But first, a quick announcement. Our show will be live tonight at 7 on a Sunday night. But for the next episodes of this season, be sure to tune in if you want to listen live at 7 p.m. on Saturday night. So there's that change, which I will remind you of at the end of the show. But let's talk about empires.
I admit it, TV's kind of my thing. I'll pretty much watch any crime show with an acronym in the title. I live for quirky 90s sitcoms, crazy nature documentaries, and even the occasional indie dramedy. All I need is my comfy pants, a classic movie, an all-new medical drama, or perhaps a little Tuesday night tearjerker. So give me a tense courtroom drama, mafia masterpiece, or even a quirky lead detective mismatched with a totally by-the-books partner, and I am in. And because I have wireless from AT&T, I get my favorite 60 channels of live TV for a year on them. So saying bye-bye, cable bill, is kind of my thing, too.
Get more from your wireless plan. Buy AT&T Wireless and get live TV on us. AT&T. More for your thing. That's our thing. Limited time New York Metro offer. Requires a new line on an eligible plan which starts at $75 per month and DirecTV Now $35 package. After 1 year, DirecTV Now renews at full price unless canceled. Eligibility and restrictions apply. See att.com/live TV on us for details.
This is Global from the Spencer Walsh Radio Network. On today's show, empires. All right, welcome to the Global Review Podcast. All right, we got to play that sound effect, though. It doesn't really matter. All right, so we're going to go over the empires today. And a lot of people ask me to do this podcast, so if you're wondering, that's why I am doing it. And, so it is on. It's on now. We are ready to go. And so, of course, we had to start. We're going to go through the empires, go through them each little by little. One of them is a republic, but find out which one that is coming up. So, and of course,